check out my podcast on God. Sure, I mentioned him in there. If not, I'll add another one. So just do yourself a favor and constantly think about, okay, I am going to be the most successful. I am not going to worry about somebody saying anything negative. Just don't even forget about it. And this is what it takes. It sounds like I'm repeating myself and just going in circles, but no, you have to do this. If you don't have this, when there's a big moment, anytime you're doing something that's worthwhile, it's going to take everything you got. You have to focus. And just imagine you're that employee that is gonna go for it, mixed with an employer that is deciding whether or not he's going to have you as an employee or the new manager. And think about the bully on the street. Okay, now the bully's looking around and deciding who he's going to pick on. Well, if you're the type of person that's doing something, you're focused on it, guess what? He's going to probably pick on an easier target, somebody that is full of self-doubt, somebody that will fulfill what the bully wants. The bully wants to, okay, I'm going to crush you. I want somebody that's going to have their tail between the legs and make me look like a bigger, stronger person. But if that person's going to stomp their feet and come at them because they're very confident and they're going to just do it, so to speak, guess what? Now that bully is going to look for an easier target. Like people used to always ask, oh, yeah, does this work? What is that called? The club back in the day with the steering wheel. And I go, whether it works or not, the way it's intended is up for debate, because, you could cut the steering wheel or whatever. In some cases, you could bend the stick shift to go around the one that blocks a stick shift to the brake lever. I'm dating myself now because nowadays when I say, hey, do you want to borrow my Jeep? People are like, my brother-in-law is like, well, I don't, not my brother-in-law. He married my niece. So what does that make him? Huh. So he's like, hey, yeah, I would take your Jeep, but I can't drive a stick. I'm like, wow, it's weird. And this, he's a construction worker, and you think, God, as a dude, half the time you're just gonna lie about it. You'll figure it out when you're driving. But it's a crazy thing. I remember I used to borrow like friends, even if they didn't have motorcycles, if they had little scooters, it'd be like, hey man, let me ride your scooter, and then you ride it. And I remember this one guy, I bugged him after church every day for the longest time, like, hey, let me ride your scooter, let me ride your scooter. He never let me ride it. Finally, he let me ride it, and I was just tearing it up on the. Never ridden a scooter before, dirt bikes, but no scooter. So anyway, I'm on the scooter, and I go to lock up the back brake because I was going to slide in the grass, right, and just be cool in front of everybody. But on a 10-speed, your right lever is for your rear brake. On this thing, it's your front brake. And I locked it up, and I accidentally locked up the front brake, and I just launched, just catapulted right in front of everybody sitting on the hood of their car watching, right over the handlebars, and just did a total 180, landed on my back and slid, and that's when I should have broke my back. But, landed on grass and slid, and I never forget we all got in the cars, and he jumped on his scooter, and we're driving to the mall after that, and he was following us. I remember looking at him, and I could see the handlebars are crooked, the plastic's kind of hanging. It's one of those Honda little scooters, and I felt like such a, oh God, you just want to go in a hole and die, But it's just one of those things where you'll die trying before you don't do something. But nowadays it's we don't do that anymore. But maybe we're better off because of it. Maybe the life expectancy will shoot up another 10 years. But in any event, so to kind of summarize it, it's okay, you could go for it, but spend all your time and energy and make sure it's the best decision with the information you have. And once you decide you're going to go for it, don't be like me looking up at a hill and saying, okay, I'm going to do it no matter what because I'm going to challenge myself. Though, what's interesting after I fell and got hurt on the dirt bike, not the scooter, not to be confused, but when I went to the hospital and stuff, the interesting thing though is after that, I knew that I wasn't afraid to do anything. And I think maybe the reason I always challenged myself because I wanted to make sure I could beat myself. In other words, there wasn't something I had to do and I was going to be a coward and not do it. And I really thought about it and like that's all it is. I saw a hill that I didn't know if I could do it or not, but I wanted to do it. And moving forward, I learned that, hey, just because it's there and you decide not to do it doesn't mean that you're a coward or can't do it. It's just it's just that I think, okay, maybe I can't, but it's not because I'm afraid to, because like when you're young, you're being called a chicken, and like I say, it's we're all children. We're just adults now, and we're fighting a lot of hang-ups, and I'm sure I could pin it down to something that happened, behind a dumpster somewhere with my bigger neighbor or something when I was little. But the point is, I saw something and I'm like, you know what? I did it. I wasn't afraid to do it. And so now, like, there's a bunch of great whites, I guess, off the coast here, and I always wanted to dive with a great white. And everybody's like, no, you're crazy. No, but there's a smart way to do it. You do certain things to, like you get on the bottom because the shark likes to attack up because they're vulnerable on the bottom. You go when it's clear, so they know you're not a seal because we're too bony for them. And I typically would say, I'm not it's kind of scary, but I'm not afraid to do it. And I could picture myself doing it, but just like I learned that lesson is, okay, it doesn't mean it's smart. Sure, you're brave enough, Brent. You proved yourself. Now just think about conserving and living as long as you can. And so I think I'm not, I don't have any hang-ups about not going and diving with the shark. Because I know that if I really wanted to, I would. And, I think that's what it took for me. Hopefully you guys will be smarter and learn from my mistake, is just learn your limits. And when you do find your limit, it's not that you're not good enough or well, I guess in a way you could say that, but it's just that you spent life doing other things. Like I wasn't practicing every day writing, so I was doing other things. And you kind of just got to be smarter about it than anything else, because we do only have one life. But as bad as that was, you still don't want to be. I think there is something to be said about somebody that doesn't do it because they are afraid. So you just need to sharpen your pencil and say, okay, I'm not doing this because I'm afraid because of a hang-up, because I was picked on when I was little or whatever. And once you decide, hey, I'm not doing this because I don't have the skill for this thing, or I don't have the practice for this thing. This isn't me. Okay, that's fine. But you don't want to have something that you can do and then not do it because you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of something that happened a long time ago, happening again, somebody making fun of you, calling you, hey, you're a weakling and you can't do anything. So you're going to spend the rest of your life taking steroids. And, so I guess, if you do it for the right reason, hey, more power to you, but it's got to be for the right reason. And, we could talk more about that, but just going for it. Don't be like the drunk guy, just going for anything and everything just because he needs to prove himself. But also don't be like the person that's skittish and doesn't do anything because they're afraid of whatever hang-ups they have. And I think if you could be smart about it and say, you know what, I'm going to go for this because X, Y, and Z. But when you do go for it, you square it in the eye, you give it everything you got, and you will be successful. I guarantee it. And again, success may be past, you not doing it, just saying, hey, at least I went for it. But that'll give you more confidence for when you do it again for something better. All right, guys, we will talk at you later.